At the edge of a desolate town, there stood a house that everyone avoided. Its windows were darkened, its paint peeled like dried skin, and its once grand pillars sagged under the weight of years. People whispered about it, calling it the house that whispered secrets, but no one dared to go near, no one except for a young man named Liam. Liam was a skeptic, fascinated by the stories of haunted places. He had heard rumors about the house since childhood, how people claimed to hear voices when the wind blew, and how shadows moved in its empty rooms. Determined to prove the stories false, Liam decided to spend a night there alone. He arrived just before sunset, armed with a flashlight, a camera, and his curiosity. The door creaked open as if inviting him inside. The air was thick and cold, carrying the faint scent of decay. The floorboards groaned under his weight, and the walls seemed to close in as he explored. The whispers began almost immediately. At first they were faint, soft murmurs that could have been the wind, but as night fell the voices grew clearer. They spoke in hushed, overlapping tones, words just out of reach of comprehension. Liam's heart raced, but he told himself it was his imagination. He set up his camera in the parlor, where a cracked mirror hung above a crumbling fireplace. As he adjusted the lens, the whispers seemed to converge into a single voice, low and guttural. "Why have you come?" it asked. Liam froze. The question echoed in his ears, but he saw nothing. Summoning his courage, he replied, "I want to know the truth about this house." The voice laughed, a sound that sent shivers down his spine. "Truth? The truth is a burden you cannot bear." Suddenly, the mirror cracked further, splintering into jagged lines. Liam's flashlight flickered, and the room plunged into darkness. He fumbled to turn it back on, and when the light returned, he was no longer alone. Figures stood in the shadows, their faces obscured but their eyes glowing faintly. They surrounded him, whispering in unison. Words spilled from their mouths, secrets that clawed at his mind, betrayals, crimes, and fears. They spoke of people he had never met, and events he had never known, but each word felt personal, as if the house was peeling away layers of his soul. Desperate to escape, Liam ran toward the door, but the house twisted around him. Hallways stretched endlessly, and doors led back to the same rooms. The whispers followed, growing louder, their words turning into screams. "You cannot leave," the voice roared. "You asked for truth, and now you belong to it." Liam stumbled into the basement, where a single, flickering bulb illuminated a strange altar made of bone and stone. At its center was a book, its pages blank but bleeding at the edges. Compelled by something beyond his control, Liam reached out and touched it. The whispers stopped. The silence was worse. The house began to shake, its walls trembling as if alive. The book's pages filled with blood-red words, writing themselves in an ancient script. The glow from the pages bathed the room in an eerie light. Liam felt his mind unravel as visions of the house's past flooded his thoughts, a family torn apart by greed, a betrayal that led to murder, and a curse that bound their souls to the very walls. As the visions subsided, the whispers returned, but now they spoke directly into his mind. "You are ours now," they said. "The house needs a keeper." The bulb above shattered, plunging the basement into darkness. When Liam opened his eyes, he was no longer in the basement. He stood in the parlor, but it was different. The walls were whole, the mirror pristine, and the house alive with the sounds of laughter and life, except no one could see him. Liam screamed, but no sound came out. He was trapped, a shadow among the living, bound to the house that whispered secrets, just as the others had been before him. And as the years passed, the house waited for its next visitor, its whispers promising truths better left untold.